Range script loaded, you can now press escape, select choose slot, and pick your aircraft. The Saab Gripen can carry two types of air-to-ground missiles. The AGM-65H, Maverick, developed by the American Raytheon, and serviced since 1972. The H model uses a CCD optical seeker and has a shaped charge warhead of 126 pounds. Total weight is 460 pounds. The AGM-65K similar to the H model, but with a larger 300-pound blast fragmentation warhead, bringing the total weight to 675 pounds. The Brimstone. Originally an active radar homing weapon, it was evolved into a laser-guided missile to improve its accuracy. Entered service on 2005 and is manufactured by the European MBDA. It has a high explosive anti-tank warhead and is much smaller than the Maverick, with a weight of just 110 pounds. This allows 3 missiles on a single pylon. The Maverick missiles have the advantage of being fire and forget. You are able to launch one as soon as you get a lock on your targeting pod. The Brimstone has the advantage of being cheaper to procure and you can carry more of them, 3 per pylon. Being laser guided, it requires the attacking aircraft to maintain laser lock with the target until impact. For this training mission, we will use the same weapons range as our previous missions. The target will be a set of obsolete tanks arranged on the northernmost runway of the range. Your aircraft mounts 2 Mavericks, a K and an H model, plus 6 Brimstones. You can make as many passes through the range as you need. You will be awarded 10 results points for each destroyed target tank. Press spacebar to begin the mission. We have paused the mission briefly, to explain the weapon procedure. It has 3 parts. Weapon preparation, locate targets using the targeting pod, and finally weapon deployment. We currently carry 2 types of air-to-ground missiles. 2 AGM-65 Mavericks, on the inboard wing stations. 6 Brimstones, on the outboard wing stations. These are quite different missiles. The Maverick is a fire and forget weapon, which once launched it does not require help from our aircraft in any way. In contrast, the Brimstone is a laser-guided missile, where our laser has to illuminate the target during the whole missile trajectory, like the LGB that we used on a previous training mission. Weapon preparation. 1. Set air-to-ground mode. Press the 7 key, to enable the use of air-to-ground weapons. 2. Select weapon. On the HUD the ground symbology is shown, and on its bottom left the currently selected weapon is displayed. Press the D key, to cycle among the weapon stations that currently have air-to-ground armament. With our current loadout, It will cycle between the 65H, 65K, and Brimstone. Please, select either the 65H or 65K, as we will first practice with the fire and forget missiles. 3. Master Arm Safety Switch, set to live. This enables all the weapon firing circuits of the aircraft. Use of the targeting pod. The targeting pod is used on exactly the same way that we saw on the previous LGB bombing training mission, so we won't go into great detail on its use. If you have not yet done that training, then we suggest that you end this mission, and train with LGB first, before attempting this air-to-ground missile training. Press spacebar to continue with this training mission, or press backspace to end the training now, so that you can train with LGB first. The T-pod allows us to search for suitable targets optically, from a great distance. Press O to activate the TV camera of the T-pod. On the HUD you will see a circle, initially bore-sighted over the nose of the aircraft. This is the target designator, TD. You can move it with the keys colon, comma, slash and semicolon. Try and move the TD, to get a feel for it. If needed, you can recenter the TD with right Ctrl plus I. To ease the use of the T-pod, enable the altitude hold autopilot, with left Alt plus 2. To have a complete view of what the T-pod sensor is seeing, enable on the left MFD the T-pod page, by clicking the highlighted button twice. The T-pod has 2 zoom levels. Change between them with the equals and minus keys. If you can see the 4 brackets, you are zoomed out. If they are not visible, then you are zoomed in. Once you have located a target, position the TD box near it and press Enter, to lock onto it. It isn't necessary to precisely enclose the target inside the TD box, just place it near. If the lock is successful, the symbology AC will appear on the display. If the T-pod can't lock, it will display KC instead. I have unpaused the simulation. Now you can make slight adjustments to the TD box position. Once near enough to the target, it will be acquired automatically and the symbology will change from KC to a C. Press spacebar as soon as you have a target locked. Weapon deployment. Once a target is locked, follow these next steps to attack it. 1. Trigger safety. Up. On the flight stick, click on the trigger safety cover. It will remain up until you click on it again. 2. Laser designator. On, with right shift plus O. For the Maverick, that we are currently using, this step is not needed. 3. Check target range. Keep flying level towards the target, while monitoring the range scale on the HUD. As only the minimum range mark is shown on the scale, this means that you are already within the maximum range of this weapon. 4. Press and hold the trigger to launch the currently selected missile. The next missile will be selected automatically. It will be a Brimstone. Press D to select the remaining Maverick instead. Next, move the TD near the next target. It should lock automatically, then press the trigger to launch the Maverick. The fire and forget capability of the Maverick is what allows us to do these quick launches. You can now turn left to make a second pass, this time using the Brimstone missiles. First pass, disconnect the autopilot with left Alt plus 9, and then turn left 180 degrees to go around and perform a second pass, this time with the Brimstone missiles. Once you have climbed back to at least 3,000 feet, turn left to a heading of 270 degrees, back towards the weapon's range. The Brimstone uses almost the same deployment procedure as the Maverick, the difference being that you need to illuminate the target using the laser designator, and keep the TD box locked onto the target until the missile hits. This time, once you have located a target, position the TD box near it and press enter to lock onto it. It isn't necessary to precisely enclose the target inside the TD box, just place it near. If the lock is successful, the code SC will appear on the display. If the T-pod can't lock, it will display the code KC. Press spacebar to continue once you have attempted the lock and got an AC or KC. Now you can make slight adjustments to the TD box position. Once near enough to the target, it will be acquired automatically and the symbology will change from KC to a C. Press spacebar as soon as you have a target locked with a C. 2. Laser designator. On, with right shift plus O. The LR symbology is displayed on the HUD and T-pod display. 3. Check target range. Keep flying level towards the target, while monitoring the range scale on the HUD. As only the minimum range mark is shown on the scale, this means that you are already within the maximum range of this weapon. 4. Press and hold the trigger to launch the currently selected missile. Do not move the TD box, keep the laser illuminating the target while flying towards it. Now that the target was hit, you can move the TD box near the next target, it should lock automatically. Be sure to select a target much farther ahead, so that you are able to maintain the laser on it after firing. Once you have locked an appropriate new target, press the trigger to launch a second Brimstone during this same attack pass. Now keep the laser illuminating the target, while flying towards it. Check any targets farther ahead, if possible lock a new target and fire a third Brimstone again. If all targets are too close to your current position, then avoid wasting a missile, turn left and go for another pass over the range. Second pass. Turn left to go around and perform another attack. Remember to turn on the laser, previous to firing the next Brimstone. 5. Turn off the laser designator, with the key right shift plus O, to prevent it from overheating. Remember to turn it back on when attempting to fire the next Brimstone. Once you have climbed back to at least 3,000 feet, turn left to a heading of 270 degrees, back towards the weapon's range. Third pass. Turn left to go around and perform another attack. Remember to disconnect the laser. Once you have climbed back to at least 3,000 feet, turn left to a heading of 270 degrees, back towards the weapon's range. You have no more missiles left. Turn right, to a heading of 90 degrees, and return to Saipan Air Base. You can check your missile's accuracy by calling up the communications menu. Select F10, Other, then select F1, Range, finally, click F3, My Bombing Results. After checking your results, press spacebar to perform the unarmed procedure. Before returning to base, we must disarm the armament. We have paused the mission again, to guide you through this procedure. 1. Trigger safety, down. 2. Master arm safety switch, set to safe. This disables all the weapon firing circuits. 3. Laser ranging. If it is still on, LR symbology on the HUD, then set to off, with right shift plus O. 4. Set navigation mode. Press the 1 key. This will configure the mission computer for navigation. Press spacebar to unpause and continue the mission. You have finished the air-to-ground missile attack training. Do you want to practice the return and landing back to base? Press spacebar to continue, or press backspace to finish the training now. Head towards Saipan Air Base, ahead of us, and begin final approach. We have paused the mission once again, so that we can do a quick review of the landing checklist. 1. Flight instruments. Check heading, altitude and speed. 2. APU, check that its switch is on. It will auto-activate at touchdown. 3. Landing gear lever. Extend once you are under 300 knots. 4. Landing lights. Confirm they are at land position. 5. Landing mode. Confirm it is enabled. NL should be displayed at the top left of the HUD and the glide slope line should be visible. 6. Flaps. They are automatic and don't need to be manipulated. Press COM1 to contact ATC. Select F5, ATC, F1, Saipan International, F1, inbound. Press spacebar once ATC answers our communication.
Enfield 1-1, fly heading 244, 46, QFE 29.70, runway 07, to pass altitude.
If, later on, you hear ATC messaging you with contact tower, press COM1 and select F1, request landing. Press spacebar to unpause the mission. You are now on final approach, maneuver to align with runway 07. Use the landing symbology, positioning the dot on the desired touchdown spot and then follow the glide slope placing the FPM at the same point. Touchdown. Once your speed is below 40 knots, exit on the next available street, to the left. This is Street D, proceed north towards runway 24. You have landed safely back at Saipan. Do you want to practice the taxi to the ramp? Press spacebar to continue, or press backspace to finish the training now. This is runway 24, proceed west, towards the ramp. Set the main lights to their taxi position. On the upcoming Street C, turn right to enter the ramp zone. You are now at the ramp. Taxi towards your spot on the flight line, following the route shown on the diagram. You have arrived safely to the flight ramp at Saipan. Do you want to practice the shutdown? Press spacebar to continue, or press backspace to. You are at the correct parking position, 1. Seat. Set to safe, by clicking on it. 2. APU check that it is running, its green light is illuminated. 3. Throttle. Place at its stop position, full back. 4. Navigation lights. Check that they're off. 6. Formation lights. Set to off. 7. Landing lights. Set to off. 8. Auxiliary power unit. Set to off. 9. Fuel cock. Next, click on the fuel switch itself, to set it to off. 10. Main power. Wait until the RPM gauge shows 0%. If necessary, click the highlighted MFD button, to display the engine page. Now, wait a further 10 seconds and then set the power switch to off. 11. Canopy. Click on its lever, to open it. 12. Parking brake. Enable, its handle should be pushed in. Finally, press the communication key and select F8. Ground crew. F4. Wheel chocks and ladder. F1. Place wheel chocks and ladder. After a few seconds, the crew will comply and attach the ladder to your right.
Wheel chocks. Copy. Wheel chocks are now in place.
Congratulations, you have not only managed to perform your LGB bombing training, but you have also done a visual approach, landing, taxi to ramp and shutdown practice.